Hello. So, in the mandolin group last week, there was a discussion about picks and what picks are best to use, and there were lots of amazing suggestions, and a lot of discussion around what picks are the best and what are best for beginners or people that are just looking to experiment with what different kinds of picks to use. And I commented saying these are my kind of preference for playing mandolin and guitar and things like that. But one thing that I did say is that I like to kind of bevel the picks, and so kind of filing them to shape. So they're kind of more like a spearhead kind of shape, I suppose. So what I'm going to do is I'll kind of just show you kind of what I like to do with them. And so the tools you'll need basically are just a pick. In this case, it's a Dunlop Tortex 1mm. Don't know how clear that is, but well, if you know your picks, you know what that is. And then a nail file. So this is quite a fine nail file. I suppose anyone would do, or even kind of high grit sandpaper. So yeah, kind of what I first start by doing is kind of get the edge there, so the very kind of point of the pick, and just start kind of slowly but surely kind of filing, and always make sure that you're following the actual contour of the pick. I know it's probably not overly clear, but that's why I'm trying to verbally walk you through it as well. So, and it's kind of, trial and error this, because I mean because the first time I tried with some other picks, it didn't end well. They were still playable and still usable, but they weren't, kind of what I was going for at the time. But so it takes a little bit of practice, but it's by no means the most difficult thing in the world. Just got to keep kind of slowly working at it, and then see how that's going. I don't know how clear it is, or how well you can kind of see, but you can already kind of see it's starting to kind of come to shape already on that side. So we'll carry on. I'm only going fairly quickly just because I've done this a fair few times. Like I said, always kind of, just go a bit slow, and then you should be fine. Okay, yeah, that edge is coming together again. I don't know how well you can see it. So now that edge is pretty much done, we'll then do the same on the other side. And again, start from the very tip of this pick, and then follow the curve of the shape. This is doesn't need to be perfect either. It's again, it just kind of it does what I need it to do, and if it helps other people, then great. You can probably tell I don't make videos like this very often, so that's probably why my voiceover's not the best in the world. And you can kind of see how much material is already coming off this pick. You can see kind of the dust building up there and on the table as well. So let's see how we're doing. We're doing all right, to be fair. Again, let's see if I can get the light to catch it. But you can kind of see the edge kind of coming together. So I always find the best way to do it as well is you see the logo. Always make sure that's the right way up, that way, and leave that side as it is, kind of stock, I suppose. Leave that side as it is, and then you do it from these side edges here to the centre point from the bottom of the logo. That way you always know where your pick is. That's just my kind of preference for it. But again, it's picks are picks are really quite subjective things, I think, you know. You know, there's a lot of people that lean toward the camp of there is or there isn't a right way to hold a pick. And I suppose in a lot of ways I do as well, but, you know, as well, it's all down to your anatomy and what's kind of comfortable for you, you know. As a player, like, what kind of styles do you play, or, you know. So it's quite, they're quite subjective things to picks, even though there are kind of general rules to follow. So these edges are now done, I would say. And then we do the same for these top edges here. So can I flip it around? And again, the same rule. Start from the tip, and then follow the curve of the pick. Just make sure you're following that shape all the time. Yeah, that's coming together quite well. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the camera so it can, so that you're able to see it as well. Yeah, that's coming together quite well. Let's do it a bit, just a little bit more on that side. Like I said, you get to a point where you're able to kind of gauge it, like what you want for it and kind of what you like about it. And then same on that side. So again, well, you know the drill by now. Again, just always following the shape of the pick. Sorry, cable's in the way. You know, it's like I said about this method as well, you know, find what works for you. Like, for me, a nail file does the job, but, you know, I suppose a high grit sandpaper probably would as well. You know, it depends on, you know, how much material you want to take off the pick. But again, I would say you don't need to take loads off. You just need to take the right amount off, just to kind of get that shape. Okay, that's pretty much, I would say that's there, to be fair. It's quite, you can kind of see, well, I don't know how clear it is, but you'll, certainly when you're doing it for real, on your own, I mean, you'll be able to see there's a fair bit of material that's been taken off, you know, and it's kind of been shaved down to a point. And like I said, these, you know, doing this works for me on mandolin especially, but also, you know, on guitar as well, it's just as effective, so. I'm a little bit out of practice as well, and my action is just a wee bit too high. That's the humidity. But yeah, well, you know what I mean. But yeah, so I hope that's everything. I hope that kind of covers everything, and yeah, let me know. Thank you.